Right? Now when you can't get work now, if you're losing everything in the house, the children are going to school, you don't get any money to send them. But I can play them the dance, they are going to charge them every single day. Now, I have to park, truck them, and we also working upon it. Working for like $7,000 a day. It can't work. So, we hoping that somebody from the big authority come and give us the word. We got to do something about this because simple abstract. No Chinese can't work in Brazil. They can't go carry, even to go over Brazil with these Chinese truckers can't. Brazil get the rules. You got to go with good taste. You understand? If you come here, you bring your business, that's one now expand it. You understand? So we just need to start on this.
That's low.
Come on.
Yeah, so we have the deputy chairman here, Mr. Caesar. How long have you been out here and why do you choose to support the truckers today?
We came about.
Did you get a little more volume?
Yeah, I came about. No, they're one of the truckers that have reached out to me. In fact, one of the owners of the truckers reached out to me from Josh and told me that they had a put us out here. And put us in for a number of things that we've been pouring over the past year. I think we're in the 5th month now. And so the situation in the ground that I understand is the quarry that a number of persons would have invested in, who have known personally, invested in trucks to pull stone from the quarry in our Sarah Mountain area here. They are contending that the Chinese would have gotten concession to mine stone in the area to supply all the different infrastructure work in the area and in generally around Guyana, supplying stone for the Indian Suicide Highway, stone for the Kempton Bridge, stone for the Gamora Harbor Bridge, and so Guyanese would have invested in trucks to, supply these locations in which they were getting $3,000 a ton. And business was doing okay. Last year, a number of persons would have taken out house loans, mortgage a house, and so on, so that they can invest in the Chinese recognizing, that they have the upper hand in which they are getting concession and fuel, they're getting concession in parts, they're getting concession and duty free to bring in their trucks, decide to bring in their own trucks and start trucking their own stone to these different locations. They even bring in stone to residents within the region here at a cheap price. And so the truckers find that it's very unfair to them. Some of them are asking how they be able to pay their loans, mortgages, and all these different things if they are being pushed out. Now I know that if an international company comes into your country to invest, there is some sort of rules supposed to be governing those investments and the local content policies and all these things. How much percent of the operation has to go to local? How much percent of the operation has to be employed by locals? And so the first question I want to ask here, and I want to pose the question to the government, of course, that is in charge of this stuff. Who may be responsible for monitoring this area? If they are monitoring effectively to make sure that they are following all the rules that need to be followed concerning their concession. It's very unfair for you to get in concession on fuel, concession on parts, and all these different things. And then on top, the size of truck that you have is double the size that our local have, and they're breaking up the road also because we have a protest action that they will come to in Kokwani area in which they have a problem currently with the road. They also have a quarry that they're opening in the Kokwani area, so I'm pretty much sure being directly responsible to Kokwani and the sub-region that we'll have the same problem that we have been over on the Mabur road here. And it's quite unfortunate that our locals have to go through this, and we're seeing discrimination across this country. Real locals And I heard the gentleman before that was speaking mentioned, the Chinese are opening supermarkets, they're opening corner shops. I'm seeing a hotel turn up in the Yamil's Ward area. And so the white competition is healthy. There is a need to also protect our Guyanese people, protect their investment, because here is where they born and live, they grow here. And if they can't afford to live in the country, where are they going to go and live? Where are they going to go and put up shop? You can't go in another country and do as you please, though we know Guyanese live all across this globe, but nevertheless they have to follow the rules of those countries, and so we expect that the same rules be applied to Guyana, and so Guyanese can be able to, work without those type of hindrances. And it's just unfortunate that our government, I heard gentlemen talking about bribery and all these different things, because they're contending that if they travel and they don't put the tarpaulin over the stone, the police charge them, pull them over. The police is turned this way when the Chinese truck come in, right? There are a lot of Chinese drivers that they're contending that some young fellas looking like the teenagers who driving on this road, we don't know if they are properly documented. I heard one accusation just now from a young man that when the Chinese truck come, the preferential treatment going so far that the temporary bridge that is being built to build the Wisma Mackenzie Bridge, that temporary bridge is being used, being facilitating the Chinese trucks so that they can pass. So by the time the trucks, and one guy told me this morning that by the time they go to load, the Chinese truck get preferential treatment, and they go out with their load, and they're still there. Sometimes they see the Chinese truck 3 times before they have one load. And so they come, they cross over on the temporary bridge, they go their way, they don't have to wait in lines or anything. They go through the Chinese compound at China Railway or Harbor, wherever the company building the bridge there, and they get a free pass. By the time they cross the bridge, they are already to dump off and come back already. And so these are the preferential treatment they're getting throughout without no hindrance. And so we want to make sure, and I know person who follow me on social media know that there's an issue that I've been addressing for a long while now. The Chinese stone on the truck, they drive to our community at a fast rate, not following that 15-kilometer ones they have load on top to go through, and so the stone tend to fall on person, windscreen, lights and these things and damage it. I had passed to stop one of the truck and call the police and let them take them back. The guy cannot even speak English, understand what the police officer is saying. So we go a far way. We want to know if these guys have work permit to work in this country. It's just this like a cowboy, anybody just coming into the country and do as they please. And then the accusation there of bribery from top level come down. So police are afraid. It's not that the police don't want to do their work, but they're afraid to do their work, because when they stop the Chinese truck and realize that there's no documentation, some of the truck even registered yet to drive on the road and should not have been on the road, they get a call from higher up to stand down. And so there's a breakdown in law and order in this country from top to bottom. And so we have to find a way to change that, right? We're going into the election season, and I'm appealing to Guyanese. If you don't stop what is going on, just now you'll be about third-class citizens in your own country, because the foreigners are coming in, they're getting preferential treatment, they're getting duty-free, they're getting all the things that come with all the preferential treatment that you can think about, and we have to pay all our rightful tax. We have to follow all the rules. Soon, this little protest here, well, so far it is peaceful, and I commend the guys that they're doing a peaceful protest. I know down the road the Chinese truck, they're there, they're afraid to pass because the guys are here, they can't pass. So the trucks over this side is a Guyanese truck, the truck over that side is a Chinese truck, and so there's a standoff. And so so far these guys are keeping this, very civil, very peaceful, and I commend them. But their voices need to be heard. The government need to do something to make sure, that they can able to bring some redress to this situation, because this is not just a protest action. This is people protesting for their breadline. This is families depending on whatever is going on here. Mothers is waiting so that the fathers can bring home money for their children, and if they cannot work. One guy said if you do 4 trips for the year, you do enough. You have to overhaul his engine, you get to no work for his other truck so that he can do that. And so we put in our Guyanese brother on the bread line, and when you push people against the wall, this is the type of action is tend to be taken, and then the government going to come in and want to shoot. I can say we see protest action across this country. The only place where the see person being shot and killed is in Linden. And we continue to highlight that, highlight to the relevant authority that this is not just the police taking action. They have to be taking orders. Because police, soldiers, they take command from somebody. They follow orders. They just don't get up and do things as they please. In some cases, some rogue officers do whatever they please. But there's a chain of command. So if we see police come in to this region and firing shots, it means that there's a command coming from somewhere. We see deadly protests, we see protests, for an entire day in Region 3, and not one single pellet we heard until, it was night. Not one single pellet was fired. But in Region 10 o'clock in the morning, we see police done in battle gear, in riot gear, coming to shoot protesters. And so that is something else we are monitoring at the same time. Not just the protest action, but monitoring, how the police handle the protest action. That's why I'm saying I'm commending the guys so far to be peaceful. They're protesting for a cause, and their cause need to be heard soonest.
Thank you, Mr. Boy.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, man. That's what we need.
Well said.
You're more voices like that.
Which ones? Which one?
So these are the trucks. Follow this way. Oh, this way.
Watch your mark and talk. Mark, you must bring something for us. Mark, roll this, man.
Why you running so?
Mark, I don't know more game. Get done. Truck to your start, check your lap. If you ever want to see you right up on the trucks there.
Yeah, so before I go, one of the other things that I learned from the protesters is that while they were working last year for a price, the price they were getting was $3,000 a ton, and that could have paid them to maintain the trucks, pay workers, and all the different things. I'm learning now that the Chinese are paying out $1,300. This is less than 50% of what the original price they were getting. And so that is very unfair now, according to the guys, and that is, I think, $9,000 a truckload. But they have to pay, outside of that, they have to pay bridge, they have to pay the council. If they bust a tire, the tire is about 100 and something thousand in some cases, in some trucks, and some about $75,000. So the maintenance costs and the state of the road, the maintenance costs going up. And so that disparity from $3,000, and this is one of the ways they're saying that the Chinese would have employed to pressure them out of the trucking business by dropping the price to $1,300 a cubic a ton from the original $3,000 they were getting. And we're getting these complaints throughout, throughout the country. But here in Region 10 is a serious situation, because I know a lot of the truckers into my neighbor who would have invested in 4 trucks, mortgaged his house and invested in 4 trucks, and he complained. I mean, he was just here, he will leave to come back. But he's saying, Goring, it is really tough on us to survive in this business now. From last year, last year it was going good. We were able to, like the Chinese was complaining that, you know, they're not getting enough supply. They were able to go and invest in their truck. And mind you, none of them is getting duty free. All of them have to pay the fair share of duty and parts and fuel to maintain the truck, to buy the truck and to maintain it. But now the Chinese here, they are getting concession, they're getting duty free concession to bring in the truck, they're getting duty free concession on the parts, on fuel, and so that is very, very unfair. And you know, the government need to do something about this so that our people can benefit. There's no way a government can be so callous to allow international companies to come into the country and don't follow the rules so that persons could survive, their people could survive. But come a few months from now, election time, they're going to come and they're going to tell you how much they love you and how much development is going on in the country. But we know, we are the person on the ground, we are feeling the hardship of what is going on from supermarket to corner shop. Every single thing the Chinese are investing in, and so they are putting the locals under pressure. And I want to make a general appeal to my constituency, Region 10. You know, as a regional vice chairman, you know, some people might say it's unfair, but I'm saying to you that you need to support your local businesses as far as possible. I know we look for the cheapest price, but sometimes we need to support. For us to survive, for you to survive, you need to support your local businesses as far as possible, because if you don't support your local businesses, you will be affected. Your family who's working at local business will be affected, right? Because our money is being collected in this region and taken out of the country, right? And so we need to protect our local businesses by supporting them support our local businesses. So that's all I want to say for now. I'll bring you more of it as we get it coming in. So there's a protest. There's the boom kitchen here to supply the guys.
They're here till the minister come.
So they will be here until the Minister of Government intervene.